So when I was a senior in high school, my parents were kind of tired, I think, of hearing me wanting to live out on some big ranch for the rest of my life, and they wanted me to go to school. They both felt that I should go into teaching, which again, I had zero interest. So my dad and our neighbor got together and they developed a plan. So the plan was this. Our neighbor had a ranch, and it was a big ranch, big ranch. It had thousands of cows. And every year, those cows have babies, well, calves. And when this happens, it's known as calving season, and it takes place from January through March. And one of the challenges is that cows, when they have their calves, they leave the herd and they go out to different parts of a field because they like to be alone when this happens. So somebody every night has to check these cows. So I was hired as it's called a night calver, which meant from 10 o'clock at night until 6 in the morning, every hour I would grab a flashlight and I would just walk around these fields to see if the calves were safe after they were born. So if you know nothing else about Montana, what you probably know is it gets really cold. And I don't mean kind of cold, I mean really cold. It very rarely gets above freezing. It's often well below zero. And when you add the wind, sometimes the wind chill factor, they call it, is between minus 30 and minus 50 degrees Fahrenheit. So it's really cold. So you start at 10, you walk around the field, and then you get back to the barn, and you have about 20 minutes to lay down. So they actually have a little, in their barn, they had a little room with a mattress, and you would lay down and try to get a couple-minute nap. And then at 11 o'clock, the alarm would go off. You'd get up, you'd put on your big, huge coat and your hat and your boots, and you'd walk around the field. And then you would see if everything was okay. And then you go back to the barn, and then you do it at midnight and at 1 and at 2 and at 3, all the way till 6 in the morning. And it was my senior year, and the deal was if I could keep my grades up, then I could do that because it was a pretty good little side income. And I did that till March, and it is the worst thing that I ever had to deal with. It was horrible. It was freezing cold. I was sleep deprived, and even though I only had to do it a couple times a week, it was horrible. And it was probably within the first week that I said, there is no way I want to be a rancher. This is a way too hard a life. And I was kind of stubborn, so I made sure that I finished the season. But I knew that I was not wanting to be a rancher. And I then went into education, and I'm still here, thankfully. I've never looked back, and I definitely made the right choice.